Hi, Kevin. My name's Alan. I'm with FandomWire, and thank you for speaking with us.
Oh, what's up, Alan? How are you, my friend?
Oh, doing great, doing great. So let's go ahead and dive into it. First of all, you did something that I think most cinephiles would love to do someday, which is not only buy a movie theater, but then shoot your own movie in a movie theater. Kind of tell us, why did you want to make a movie here at Smod Castle Cinemas?
They're kind of hand in hand. Like when we bought the theater right away, I was like, we now own a location, a very
Yeah.
visually interesting location. So how can we not shoot a movie here? And based on the
Hmm.
fact that the theater inside, in majority of it is still old. You know, the seats in theater one are the same seats I sat in when I saw Friday the 13th Part Two.
Oh,
Part
that's
two.
awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
years ago. So those, it means that the place looks kind of old. But then I was like, well, wait, if we point a camera at the old and never show the new, and there's so much old in this place, we could literally make a period piece, like our version of a
Hmm.
merchant ivory. We could go back in time to when I used to be dropped off by my parents for a matinee, and then they'd pick me up at 11 o'clock at night because the understanding was here's $2, pay to see one movie, and then you sneak into four others, and we'll see you at the end of the day. So making a movie about a movie theater, is like something I've always kind of dreamed about because movies play such a integral role in my life.
Hmm.
Eventually, I started making movies. Eventually, my characters in my movies started making movies. Zach and Miri in Clerks 3, for heaven's sakes, they make fucking Clerks. So it only stands to reason that, like, naturally, I'd eventually get to a movie that's like not just celebrating movies, but this is where we
Doing
watch
it.
movies. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, exactly. Even your Jay and Silent Bob movies obviously have something to do with the movies as well. So it's always been part of your filmography.
Yeah.
And you brought up Clerks 3. Now, obviously, you had worked with Austin on that film as well. What made you think that he was a perfect fit for Brian? Was there anything you saw in the Clerks 3 set?
It was not so much on the Clerks 3 set. In fact, I told him on Clerks 3, we did the first day of rehearsals, and
Mhm.
his character, Blockchain Coltrane, had dialogue. But
Yeah.
when we were done with the rehearsal, I was like, Austin, I'm going to take away all your dialogue. It's not because you did anything wrong. I just don't think I wrote anything funny enough for you to do. And since you're the last guy in the room, people are going to take it out on you if you don't say funny shit. So if I take all your dialogue away, we could play you like a version of Silent Bob. And I happen to know for a fact that works.
Yeah.
So I said, he was, of course, like, do I suck? And I was like, no, not at all. I was like, but one day, even though I'm taking away all the dialogue now, I promise one day I'll give you all the dialogue. And it wound up being sooner than I imagined. I didn't think of him as the first guy to play me. The first actor I thought of was Harley. I approached
What?
Harley and I was like, why don't you play young me? And she's like, I don't have to deal with enough fucking Nepo baby bullshit online. It's going to make me play you. Fuck that. And I was like, all right. I was like, well, where else can I look? And she'd been dating Austin for the better part of 5 years, man. So I know him well. I knew him from working with him and stuff. More importantly, I knew like he's not like a alpha male. You know what I'm saying? Neither have I. We're both fucking beta cucks. And I felt like I recognized something in him, and also like he's not like heavy like I was as a kid, but he's got like he's on the shorter side. So I was like, oh
Mhm.
shit, I could substitute weight for height. So there'll be something that people could see. That was a big part of my childhood was people looked at me and judging me and stuff. And so I thought
Mhm.
that was important for Brian as well. It's part of like what made me me is like I had to try to be charming so that people wouldn't look at my weight. And Austin's character, Brian David, tries to be charming so they don't
Yep.
notice his height. So he had all the elements. And plus, I knew he was a good actor because he's been acting since he was a kid. And
Mhm.
there was something of the whole like, here's your shot. You've been called up to the majors. And it's not really the majors, it's the minors because it's a Kevin Smith movie. But you will play a lead. You are gonna, this is something you've dreamed about your whole life. You're gonna have to carry a whole movie. And man, if he didn't do it, like he really lived up to it and stuff. And there's a thing he does in the final scene that I didn't even ask for when he's like plays the tape for Melody and he finally like kind of
Mhm.
tells her how he feels. He got glassy eyed like while we were shooting, man. He gets emotional to the point where it's not like pouring tears, but you could see it's in his heart and soul. And I didn't ask for that. And he delivered it. And right then and there, I was like, brother, that is more Kevin Smith than Kevin Smith. Like that was one of the most real moments I've ever seen somebody bring to film. Like that's how I felt in that moment. In this job where we try to recapture these important pastimes or moments that happened to us that shaped us into who we were and are. His
Yeah.
getting glassy eyed was something I should have written in the script, but I didn't even dare. He brought it to the table, and I'll always love him for that. It's one of my favorite moments in the movie. You could see it, and Melody could see it. Like he can't, it's too soon. It'd be creepy for him to be like, I love you. But for him to say, like, all I want to do is watch movies with you, and her to say it back, that's
I love that line. It was such a
code.
great line.
That's their code, man. It's just like that's what you say. If I were ever to do a sequel, it would be about when he got the first courage to finally say, I love you. That's another big developmental moment in any relationship. Who's going to go first? But here, they're so
Mhm.
innocent and so early in their relationship, they find a way to express it just perfectly to one another. To say that thing without saying the thing that would change everything. There'll be time for that one day down the road. But for
Yep.
right now, this is as close as we can get to it. And he fucking sold that, man. So he was the absolute right choice.
Well, hey, thank you very much for your time, Kevin. I really do appreciate it.
That's a
The movie's awesome. We had a lot of fun with it, and we hope, like you said, if you ever made a sequel, we would love to see that.
I'm
So,
there, man. I'm gonna try one day. And heads up, man, that Jaws thing is beautiful in the background.
oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. All right,
Sure is.
well, have a great rest of your day.
You as well. Bye bye.